sun. Well, I'm gonna walk from the place where I come from. Well, I'm gonna walk and leave you behind. I'm gonna walk 'cause you made me love you. I can't believe I go so far away, so far away. But it lets me ease my mind. At the mountain I let myself go. The mountain listens, the mountain knows. Well, you're gonna walk 'cause you say you love me. You're gonna walk and leave me alone. I let you roam, you soon realize I've got another place to go. Can't believe I go so far away, but it lets me ease my mind. At the mountain I let myself go. The mountain listens, the mountain knows that you're no good for me. Well, you're no good for me. I trust the mountain, she gives me pride. Well, I speak to her like she's my bride. She doesn't play any games, she doesn't laugh at me. She just listens and she knows. I can't believe I go so far away, but it lets me ease my mind. At the mountain I let myself go. The mountain listens, the mountain knows. I can't believe I go so far away, but it lets me ease my mind. At the mountain I let myself go. The mountain listens, the mountain knows. I stare at her face. I can't see.
And a 1, 2.
Come on!
All right, everybody. Season 1, episode 12 of Live at Chance's house. And today is an excellent day for a lot of reasons, but most importantly, my friend and founder of Red Dirt Outlaws, Delano Bryant, is here with us. El, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good. How are you doing, Chance?
I'm doing great. So we got a lot of things that are they're pretty exciting. So this is the show that's kind of kicking off the week. We've got some stuff that's coming out tomorrow. The new single from Red Dirt Outlaws, No Breaks, is dropping at midnight, streaming everywhere. So it's pretty cool. But the interesting thing is that this entire time I've been doing Live at Chance's house, and you've been a part of it. You've seen it. It started off for me with an iPhone. Then it got into a little bit more complicated stuff. Then I couldn't get the sound right. So everybody knows you by name because I've talked about you. And everyone's probably seen your snarky comments because I can always rely on you for that.
Of course.
But nobody knows you. So let's talk for a minute, man. Tell the audience a little about you and just kind of how we met in general, and let's talk.
I've been in the music scene in Dallas and different places for years. Worked in productions. I've toured with people and really enjoyed that part of it, but wanted to come back to Dallas and come up with a sound that was kind of lacking. There's a lot of guys doing it now, and it's really taking off. But starting with, Brian Martini and I had hooked up, putting something together, and started looking around at where, getting music, getting songs, going to publishers. We started getting a lot of things pitched to us that were just dynamite songs out of Nashville that hadn't been recorded or produced yet. So we took those on, started going through them and seeing what really kind of fits our genre, what message we're trying to get across of good old American male, guys having fun, bringing fun back into music. And started looking around, and I think you had been talking to Brian because you've used Brian before.
Mm-hmm.
I had been talking to him about filming at the studio. Brian and I are knocking our heads together. We've had some guys come out and audition that just did not get our style. It's like I've said before, if you're going to audition for Red Dirt and then you're going to go audition for Weezer, that should tell you probably aren't getting our style of music. Brian, I said, hey, I've got this guy Chance. He's got a great voice. He's been in Dallas forever. He's kind of a big deal, is what I'd heard. Everybody says that. I think there's a T-shirt out. I think we talked to you and had you come out, and it's been awesome. I mean, to watch you embrace what we're trying to do and the kind of sound and taking it as your own has been awesome. Because a lot of people, and I've been in projects where people are just phoning it in. They're just doing it for a paycheck. And to see someone, with your talent and ability that has embraced it and said, this part of RDO, you've owned it. You're still doing the Chance and doing your stuff and your writing, which is awesome. But for what we're wanting to do, you've just embraced it. And that's been a freaking godsend for us.
Well, it's been a heck of a lot of fun, and it's something that I've enjoyed. And for my friends and even new people that are coming in and watching, just as a quick story, I mean, it's something that I even questioned and was like, wow, is this something I can do? And you told me not too long ago, and it made me feel really good because while I know I've done better, I didn't even realize it myself. But the first month when we met, it's been over a year now. I can't believe we've been doing this.
Right.
And finally got a record coming. I was like, man, I can't do this. It's going to sound terrible. And I remember you would always give me the, heart of a Southern man, and come out and tell me that I was trying to sound country and do some stuff. And I was like, well, I know I'm not, that's not me. And then it just kind of started clicking. And then we started recording some songs, and then we did the acoustic versions. And then, you told me, it was just a couple of weeks ago, Chance, the style that you've come up with is you, it's your own. And it does feel real. It feels very real to me because I don't feel like I'm having to be anybody but myself. And even when I've written my own songs, I've kind of like, well, I've got this influence, and man, I really want to sound like this person.
Right.
And I don't feel that way. I feel like that the songs that we're doing, and incredible songs too. Hats off to the writers that we've got. Unbelievable songs. I really feel, like I've kind of come into a whole new genre, but also found myself a little bit too. And it's definitely influencing the way I'm writing the songs I've got going on forward too. It's been really cool.
And that was something we talked about. And I think early on, it's funny, we'll have to go and listen to some of the recordings. the first couple of nights when you came, because you had brought in this wealth of experience that you've been doing all around Dallas for years, and bringing that in, and that's what most people want. They want that. Hey, we're doing it the same way. There's so many cover bands that are, everybody's being Bon Jovi and being this, and I think when you came in, we just stressed to you, don't be them. Just find your voice. We're not trying to be country. And that's why when you do some of the twang, it's like, okay, you don't have to do that, But yeah, that's been a neat thing. I mean, Brian and I have talked about that, and seeing how you've progressed with that, and we've done that with Phil. Phil's a tremendous guitar player. I saw Phil and Brian both at a huge rock festival in Chicago many years ago, and never thought that I would have these cats in a band. Mm-hmm. And here they are. And so I told the same thing to Phil. I'm like, we're not trying to be Leonard Skinner. We're not trying to emulate anybody. You come up with the sound, the styles, what you want to play, the licks, and make these songs your own, which the beauty of us getting songs that just like George Strait and everybody else do, when they get songs from publishers, is you make them your own and come up with your sound. And that's really what we spent the last year doing. Mm-hmm. We've been listening, like you said, you and I've gotten together many times. We get together at the studio with the rest of the guys, is to work through and play. And, it would sound better if we kind of pulled back here, if we add this, and really embrace them for us.
No, absolutely. And I think that, just in the short amount of time that I've known Phil too, and obviously you guys have known each other much longer than I have, but I mean, I've even seen it just, gosh, from the time that we did our first rehearsal to, starting to cut the record, I'm like, dang, man, that sounds freaking killer, and where did that come from? And, I didn't know that some of that was possible, but he's such a talented guitarist. I mean, and I think that's the other thing too. For the first time, I feel like not only am I a part of something that I've never done before, but I'm kind of I feel like I'm in a super group. I've always said to people, you always surround yourself with people that are better than you. And that's how I feel. I mean, gosh, Brian's a world-class drummer. I mean, Phil's an incredible guitarist. You're an awesome bass player. We can't leave out Marek. I mean, yeah. Good Lord, this guy can, play Joe Satriani on a violin. I mean, he's just a wonderful talent. And the fact that he came from a classical background and is world famous everywhere else. And then he loves playing fiddle and wants to play with us. So it's like, I just feel like we've got this super group all of a sudden, and it's just a hell of a lot of fun.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. I mean, with the single coming out, that's been our focus the last, the winter. I think we went into the studio. Well, we cut our tracks and then took it to the mixer, took it to Chris. Mm-hmm. I think in January, February, it took him 4 or 5 weeks, to do, I think, our 10 songs. So now that, of course, as soon as we finish, COVID hits, so everything's kind of put on a hiatus until, things can open up and we can get out there. But man, we're chomping at the bit to put this product in front of people and let the fans and the crowd really enjoy it.
Well, there's been samples and snippets, obviously. And so over the last couple of months, I've been doing a lot here on Live at Chance's house, and I've been playing the songs. And what's great is I've already got a lot of people, that are excited and going, wow, we can't wait to hear that. And gosh, there's going to be a live band version. So it's going to be really exciting because God knows Phil plays guitar way better than I do.
Phil does everything better than all of us.
He does.
But you're right. As far as like surrounding yourself. I feel the same way. I feel like everybody around me, I'm the weak link. And what's great, I think all our guys are humble enough that everybody feels the same. Mm-hmm. Brian feels that way about the rest of the guys. Mark, he feels the same. And so I think as long as we keep that kind of humbleness and attitude in the place that it's at, we're gonna do some really good things and some great things.
Yeah. So what's going to be really cool is to find out how well this translates, especially when we go live, because I think that we're really lucky because all of the things that we're doing, we're keeping it pretty simple. And I don't think that there's anything that we've put on the records so far that we can't recreate. So I'm pretty confident that when we get out and we're playing live, it's going to be spot on and the sound is going to be great. Let me ask you this, because you're out. Look, you've got some other
Yeah.
things too. I'm kind of curious because there's sort of a brand going on. So when you're going out and you're listening at bars and you're talking to people
Uh-huh.
about whiskey and smoking cigars and all the things that you're doing right now, what are you seeing out there as far as live music in the red dirt and the country and the southern rock scene? How do you think we're going to square up?
The one thing I see a lot of places are in Dallas Fort Worth, as you know, everything was covers. You know, if you can do a cover band, you can do covers for 3 sets, you're in. I think a lot of places are wanting to get away from that and bring artists. And so you're seeing guys, I mean, young guys, you've seen it at Love and War.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think you've done three sets there where there's some talented, guys coming out, and we see it around. I mean, like, Whiskey Meyer, I mean, they blew up after Yellowstone, featured on there, actually on there playing, and then their music is featured on there. I mean, they're growing, they're just blowing up like crazy. And so when you see bands that have been, hitting the Texas scene for years suddenly get that kind of exposure for them, that's really great. And that's what we're seeing around at a lot of the places we go to, is just people really being a little daring, not following the norm, not sounding like everybody else, but coming up with their own sound. Some of it, they might need to go back and rework on it, but a majority of it is really cool. It's refreshing. It's new. We have a couple of interests. We do a kind of a whiskey lifestyle called
Mm-hmm.
Cheeky Monkey.
Mm-hmm.
We'll go around to places and see what do they have and taste different whiskeys or different drinks, or what is the specialty in that area. So much with microbrews and all that's going on right now, you get craft beer that's made for like 10 people that some guy sat and thought of and said, this would make a great ingredient to put in here. And so we get to go and we'll try to seek those kind of places out. And usually following that kind of attitude is where you find, singers and artists that are writing things that fit into that are out there doing new things, trailblazers. It's hard to define a Texas style sound anymore. One of the questions I wanted to ask you was, what is your thought on the Texas music scene? Because I think in the last year, maybe 2, it's changed. It's blowing up.
Yeah, I agree. So, about 5 years ago, one of my favorite shows on TV was it wasn't cable access, but it was on like TXA 21 or something like that. And it was a show. It was called Troubadour, Texas. And it was a great show, and it was locally produced, and it was from this guy out of Austin. And he went and highlighted all of these artists that were truly troubadours. They'd go out and they were playing in bars and playing anywhere they could. And a couple of people that were highlighted on that show, one of which, so Ray Wiley Hubbard's one. There's a few other artists. I'm thinking Zane Williams. He's up from like Garland, Frisco area. He's got a whole new project going on. And these guys are out there and they're doing it. It's not just country. It's
right.
Like, it's almost like Texas version of Americana.
Yeah.
And it's rock and it's Southern and it's country and it's storytelling. And I've seen more and more in the last couple of years of that genre just blowing up. And there's some really amazing talent. And you and I were talking about this the other day. It's like when I was growing up, we kind of listened to what our parents listened to a certain extent until you develop your own style.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I listened to country when I was a kid. When I was I remember as early as like 2nd, 3rd, 4th grade, we lived in Amarillo. I went to school there, and that was kind of what you did. You had the country station on, but the stuff I listened to was classic country. It's like, Don Williams and some of that early 80s stuff. I think of Urban Cowboy whenever I think of music, right?
Right.
And it wasn't until later that I started listening to other things. And I was like, oh, wow, there's a whole outlaw country, and there's Johnny Cash and Waylon Jennings and Willie and the Highwaymen, and however you want to, put it out there. But in the last 5 years, I haven't really listened to mainstream country at all. And the only reason why I know it is because, I DJ gigs still now and again. And I did that for almost 15 years while I was playing in a cover band. But the music I listen to, though, is that local, regional Texas sound. And to me, it's almost not even country. It's just its own thing. It's its own genre. And that's what I enjoy.
Right. Do you find, because I know this happened with me, do you find that you go back and appreciate the music that your parents listened to?
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Without a
Because
doubt.
growing up, my dad was into Chet Atkins and Floyd Kramer, kind of that, we used to call it that hopping country, kind of stuff. And I was not into it at all. But now I can go back and, Chet Atkins was a genius. I mean, he was amazing. Listen, Les Paul, all these guys play. It's amazing how we come back around and listen to those things that were, in our past and our growing up. We can really appreciate it now, which I never did as a kid or in high school or college.
Well, my dad his biggest influence was the blues, and he was raised in Houston, Galveston area. And my mother grew up in Louisiana. So they got a lot of, Cajun and blues and just sort of that old jazzy blues. And my dad loved B.B. King, and he loves Ry Cooder and Little Village, and a lot of the bands that you think about that are sort of on the fringe now, with the exception of B.B. King. Obviously everyone knows them, but Ry Cooder's got like this sort of like jazzy bluesy sound, and a lot of people either love him or hate him. But I've gone back, I've got vinyl from him, and I go back and listen to it. Man, this stuff is genius.
Right.
But when I remember listening to it at the time, my dad going, "You're going to really like this," and I'm like, "What the? Oh, what is that?" I'm going to go upstairs and listen to Van Halen, Dad. Sorry, this is old people music.
Dive her down.
I did. That was the first album I ever bought. I mean, it was crazy. But I go back, and the other thing my parents, they'll listen to now, which is crazy because it reminds them, especially, and they love it, when they were growing up. Because my parents are just in their early 70s. They're still young. But the 50s was big influence. And so you think about like the backseat jams, like the, the Dion and the Coasters and the Four Tops and the Drifters, and all of that. And my parents really love that stuff, and I do too. I think the Platters might be one of my favorite of the 50s bands. It just something about that band. I just dug their sound. But no, I definitely have an appreciation for that stuff more now than I ever have.
Yeah. And that's we were talking earlier about our influences and things. Like right now, I've gotten back into Leland Sklar. Now Leland Sklar is 2,500 singles that he's played on. He's this bass player. He's got a longer beard than I'll never have a beard that long. But listening to him, he played with Phil Collins. He's played with everybody, and Jackson Browne, and it's funny listening to him. It's like, man, I remember listening to Jackson Browne. I remember, listening to the rebel music of the 70s. That was when I was starting to come into my own, like Three Dog Night or bands like that in the late 70s and 80s. They were kind of that protest, and he played on all that. And then he's also, playing on, new stuff now and touring with Phil, and to hear his style, and it is very jazz. I'm trying to, when I play, bass parts, I have a bass rooted in jazz. And I think jazz goes through everything, blues, rock, even country. You listen to I was listening to Dave Stogner. He's a second cousin of mine. He went out to California and did the big movement out there years ago, and listening to going back and listen to their kind of music, it's got a lot of jazz progressions and notes, even though it's very simple country, almost rockabilly kind of sound. And so that's pretty neat.
Do you write music? Have you written stuff?
I have. I can come up with a concept. Like I want to say, here's my story, here's my image. And then I need someone to come in and get me from point A to point B. And so I've written a lot of those. I produced television for 20 years. I still produce TV shows. And so in that, you have to write segments. You don't have to write, what someone did or what they saw for, the host to tell the story. So I have a background in writing. I'm not the one to go out there and piece it all together. I need someone that can really architect it. I can tell you where I want to be. I can tell you what I think the last scene or the last verse of the song should be telling the story. But to get from point A to point B, connecting the dots, usually I collaborate with someone.
No, that makes sense. And I think that that's also going to be a benefit for us because, I oftentimes my writing style, if I'm left to my own devices, I sort of pigeonhole myself because I come up with certain themes and certain ideas. But even when I wrote Every Step, for example, that was a feeling in the moment. And
Right.
I have like 3 or 4 of those in the moment songs. And the rest of the songs that I have, I tend to, quite frankly, write sort of sappy love songs. But I think this will be beneficial for us, though, because if you've got a theme, you've got something,
Right.
it'll lead to more stuff. So when RDO starts doing the next album, we may end up with 1 or 2 of our own quickly
Right.
because we have a talented group of guys that's going to be able to pull this off. And with all of our
Right.
talents pulled together, I think that's going to be, for me as a lyricist, it helps to give me a theme. Give me a theme and let me sit for 10
Right.
minutes and I'll give you something.
Well, that was the thing, when Bryant and I first got together and started talking, okay, where do we want to take this project, was we wanted to start out with very polished, songs that had been through the mill and worked out, but had never been produced. And so we found those, and that would help us establish our style, bringing in all the other players. And then once we got that and we get basically that going enough under us, then we'll branch out. But that
Mhm.
is definitely our goal and desire. On the next album, have a couple of songs that are original, and maybe by the time we get to our 3rd or 4th album, could be all original, all of our songs that we write. I've come up with a lot of bass lines and hooks, and because I listen to cats all the time. I went through Stu Ham back in the day doing all the two-handed stuff, and now it's Tony Levin and all these guys that are just experimental, and then taking that and making melodies. So we definitely can write our own stuff.
Well, what's also been is pretty incredible in this process. And it, like I said, it started off as an idea. Hey, I'm going to play some stuff on my iPhone. And now it's kind of turned into this thing where I've got this segment and I've got interviews. Well, something amazing that came out of my interview from last week, which by the way, is coming up. It's going to be great for all you guys watching. A friend of mine I went to high school with is a singer-songwriter out of Nashville. His name's Blue Sanders. He's got some songs that have come out. He gave me a name of someone who's a very polished and quite frankly, awesome songwriter. And he said, you should reach out to her if you ever got anything and she'd be more than happy to help you. Her name's Lori McKenna. So I'm kind of excited about the introduction, and that's going to be pretty cool. And then I, reached out to my friend Blue and I was like, hey, I've got this idea for a song, he's like, hey, send it to me, so now all of a sudden it's not just that we're doing this thing, we're networking and meeting people and finding our ways into new areas we've never been. And I think it's just going to help even more. So I'm really excited about that too.
Well, the guy, there's two writers on No Breaks.
Craig Lackey
and Chip Martin.
Chip Martin, yep.
And I believe Chip wrote, what's the cat's name from the Eagles? Wrote songs with them and Skinner. And he's got a tremendous background. I need to do a little more research.
I think it was Timothy B. Schmidt, and he wrote with Poco.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he's, whatever we want. We want to collaborate with him on stuff, because I think we've got 2 or 3 of his songs. I think one of the next ones we're going to release was co-written with him and another writer, not Lackey, but another guy. So, and that's the thing, once you start getting some, because we can create it, produce it, and play it, and obviously sing it with you. Then people are going to say, hey, you know what? I'll trust you. Let's write something. And they'll come out of the woodwork and want to be a part of it. And that's what we believe is going to happen.
Absolutely. All right. So guys, here's what we're going to do. This is the exciting part. So this has kind of led us to the moment that we've been waiting for. I've been talking about it for weeks and everyone's been going, when are you guys going to come out with a song? Well, guess what? So tonight at midnight, No Breaks, the first single from RDO, Red Dirt Outlaws, will be released everywhere, worldwide. It's going to be on Apple Music, Google Play, Spotify, Tidal, you name it, it'll be out there. And we hope that you guys go listen to it. We hope you download it. We hope you stream it. We hope you get it any way you can. Because what we found through this entire process is that the only way to do it is for people to share. And if you like something and then you tell someone else, then the next thing you know, it's going to start getting around. And I appreciate everyone who's been on here that's listened up to this point, but it's exciting times. So June 19th, tonight, actually at midnight, You can go get the song. But here's what we're going to do right now. We're going to play it live. We're going to give you a sneak preview of No Breaks coming up right after this. And then just for you. And then of course, after that, I'll do the standard thing. I'll play a few songs, probably this is going to be the RDO show. So we're probably going to play a few songs tonight and have some fun. But before we go, Del, the final word is yours. What do you want to end this with?
There's what's happening all around us is everybody, love your fellow man, embrace those around you. Even if you're not understanding what they're going through, understand that to them, whatever they're going through is important to them. So be understanding and be patient, be gentle, be merciful, have grace. And I think America's, I think we'll get through this. And that's my final word.
I think that was very well said. And I really appreciate you mentioning that. And there is a lot of things happening. So we're excited to be part of the solution. And as I've said before, is listen and be kind. And if we can do that, we'll all make it through. Definitely. Guys, coming up right after this, we're going to definitely take a listen. It's coming. No Breaks, the single. Tomorrow night, we're also going to be doing a live watching party for the official video. So look for the invites for that as well. So Season 1, Episode 12. Del, thank you very much. I really appreciate you coming on.
Thank you, Chance. Appreciate it, man. Love you, brother.
Right. Love you too, brother. All right. We'll see you guys here in just a minute. No Breaks right now.
Your trouble, and I mean it. Every guy here wants you, every woman wants you to leave, and I like that. And your tattoos, and the feel of your lips on my ear when you whisper buy me the whiskey. Come on, well it's on. I bet you handle like a candy apple red Corvette, burning up the quarter mile. You got me all revved up, red line girl, that little black dress is driving me wild. I want to take you for a spin with the top down, wind blowing, honey, let's get out of this place. Oh, look at you, girl, with all them curves, and me with no brakes. Have mercy, I wanna make this last. Well, every little thing about you makes me wanna slam my foot on the gas. Oh, whoa, baby, let's go. I bet you handle like a candy apple red Corvette, burning up the quarter mile. You got me all revved up, red line girl, that little black dress is driving me wild. I wanna take you for a spin with the top down, wind blowing, honey, let's get out of this place. Oh, look at you, girl, with all them curves, and me with no yeah, it's on. So come on. I bet you handle like a candy apple red Corvette, burning up the quarter mile. You got me all revved up, red line girl, that little black dress is driving me wild. I wanna take you for a spin with the top down, wind blowing, honey, let's get out of this place. Oh, look at you, girl, with all them curves, and me with no brakes. your trouble, and I mean it. Every guy here wants you, every woman wants you to leave. Yeah, I like that. And your tattoos, and the feel of your lips on my ear when you whisper, buy me the whiskey. Come on, well it's on. Bet your hands are like a candy apple red Corvette, burning up the corner mile. You got me all revved up, red line girl, that little black dress is driving me wild. I wanna take you for a spin with the top down window and holler, let's get out of this place. Oh, look at you, girl, with all them curves, and we with no brakes. Well, have mercy, I wanna make this last. Well, every little thing about you makes me wanna slam my foot on the gas. Oh, whoa. Baby, let's go. I bet you hit like a candy up the red Corvette, burning up the corner mile. You got me all revved up, that line girl, that little black dress is driving me wild. I wanna take you for a spin with the top down window and holler, let's get out of this place. Oh, look at you, girl, with all them curves, and me with no. Yeah, so come on. I bet you handle like a candy apple red Corvette, burning up the corner mile. You got me all revved up, red line girl, that little black dress is driving me wild. I wanna take you for a spin with the top down window and honey, let's get out of this place. Oh, look at you, girl, with all them curves, and we would know. Every day you ask yourself, did I give enough love? It's just a passing feeling, but it sure seems tough. You think about all the times you thought you'd give up, and then the feeling hits, so you make your own love. You never really know how you can fly, 'cause you never really know how hard you can try. Every step of the way. Walking through your mind, you see all the things that seem rough. You smile, laugh, and play, just not enough. The water's rising up again, you just can't keep up. But you give it a go one more time, and you pick yourself up. 'Cause you never really know how you can fly. You never really know how hard you can try. I come along with you every day. I lead you through the dark. I'll be with you every step of the way. Time waits for no one. Time makes a stand. You set the clock back just because you can. The days go by, you take it all in. The moment's here now, how do you begin? It's all too much, come and take my hand. You have to let go and know there's a plan. 'Cause you never really know how you can fly. 'Cause you never how you can try. Even though I'm miles away, I come along with you every day. I hold you up and show you the way. I take your pain and stand up and say, I'll lead you through the dark. I'll be with you every step of the way. 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 I think this is going to be the next one I record. I've already sent it off to the producer, and he's going, cool, we're going to make something happen. All you've heard is acoustic so far, but we're going to make it happen. The song's called Back from the Mist. Here we go. It's a full moon rising over a grassy hill. Late one afternoon, the sun is so still, and the seagulls fly back from the mist. I let you go once. Mistakes are hard to live with. A choir of angels can be heard. Reminds me of your face. You were my angel. Now I'm sleeping with the devil. Can save my soul. The clouds will clear sometime and let the sun shine through. Oh, and the seagulls fly back from the mist. I let you go once. Mistakes are hard to live with, so I let you go. Come fly back to me. Bring my sunshine back. It's been so lonely, peeking through the clouds. Is that you saving my soul? And the seagulls fly and the seagulls fly back from the mist. I let you go on. Mistakes are hard to live with, and the seagulls fly, and the seagulls fly back from the mist. Crank it up early, this truck's sturdy, like me and my old man. He raised me up to be kind and tough and always lend a hand. He said work a job like you're working for God, so folks know your word is true. The sweat should spill, cause dreams are built there, not handed to you, son. Some things are just that simple. You give thanks, you give back, you find a lost soul, get them back on track. You take care of your friends and your family. Yes, sir, well, yes, ma'am. You meet a girl's dad and you shake his hand. You live with the humble heart of a southern man. I swear my TV's throwing news at me. This world's getting stranger. There's some crazy plans and far-off lands that put us all in danger. I had my knees praying powers that be will all come to their senses. Well, as for me, I just believe by our own best defenses. You give thanks, you give back, you find a lost soul, get them back on track. You take care of your friends and your family. Well, yes, sir, well, yes, ma'am. You look them in the eye and you shake their hand. You live with the humble heart of a southern man. Oh, you give thanks, you give back, you find a lost soul, get them back on track. You take care of your friends and your family. Yes, sir, well, yes, ma'am. You look them in the eye and you shake their hand. You live with the humble heart of a southern man. Oh, a southern man. This song was written by a good friend of ours, Bill Filson. The song's called Overtime. Here we go. No better friend I ever had, gentle giant I called my dad. Taught me how to be a man. Over time, was strong and firm in what he said. Tough love still fills my head. He said, be anything you want to be, son. Over time, I'll be looking at life just like he did. Over time, I set the bar high just like he did. Over time, I see my dad and me and my kids just like he did. Over time. It challenged me to be myself, never meant nobody else. Be the best that I could be. Over time, he taught me failing is not a crime. Keep on trying, get back in line. It's a sweet victory, it'll come again. Over time, I'll be looking at life just like he did. Over time, I set the bar high just like he did. Over time, I see my dad and me and my kids just like he did. Over time, not a day goes by I don't think of him. He's like a song that never fails to make me smile. And over time I'll be looking at life just like he did. Over time I set the bar high just like he did. Over time I see my dad and me and my kids just like he did. Over time, just like he did. Over time, over time. I'm awake, listening to the rain, wondering if you're doing the same. Or are you in the middle of a dream? Well, I hope it's something sweet. It's long, cold nights like this. Think about when you left last summer. And I wonder, do you see? Do you cry? Do you go through every day without the love of your life? Do you know that I wonder about you all the time? And I wonder if you wonder about me. Are you on my side of bed, a fluffy pillow, your pretty head? Remember staying up all night, making sweet plans for the rest of our lives. Then getting tangled up, rolling around, making love like thunder. And I wonder, do you see? Do you cry? Do you go through every day without the love of your life? Do you know that I wonder about you all the time? And I wonder if you wonder about me. Wonder if I pick up the phone, would you smile when you heard my voice? And if I asked, would you come home? Yeah, I wonder. Do you sleep? Do you cry? Do you go through every day without the love of your life? Do you know that I wonder about you all the time? Maybe please let me try to show you how I want to make this right. Do you know that I wonder about you all the time? And I wonder if you wonder about me. Yeah, do you I'm awake, listen to the rain, wondering if you're doing the same. Thank you. The song was written by Michael Gresham, Jill Spencer, and Frank Myers. It's one of my personal favorites. Can't wait for you guys to hear this one. Here we go. The song's called Mercy. Mercy works at the joint down the road, the one where the lonely people go, where she wasted so many days on the bar stool side. Pours their drinks, pour out their soul, she takes it all in and never lets go. It takes more than 12 steps to get it right. Mercy loves, mercy heals, mercy knows exactly how they feel. She's lived their pain, walked that road through hell. Mercy talks, mercy smiles, mercy's their best friend for a little while. She gets back what she can't take from that shell, a shot of mercy for herself. Mercy's fought her own kind of war, and the ghosts kept knocking at her door, and she's found herself at the bottom of a glass. She was on her knees down in the mud when a hand reached down and lifted her up, saved her life and freed her from the past. Mercy loves, mercy heals, mercy knows exactly how they feel. She's lived that pain and walked that road through hell. Mercy talks, mercy smiles, mercy's their best friend for a little while. She gets back what she can't take from that shelf, a shot of mercy for herself. She don't look down her nose, she don't judge and preach. She listens with an open heart and pours at what they need. Mercy loves, mercy heals, mercy knows exactly how they feel. She's lived their pain and walked that road through hell. Mercy talks, mercy smiles, mercy's their best friend for a little while. She gets back what she can't take from that shelf, a shot of mercy for herself. Mercy works at the joint down the road, the one where the lonely people go. So we got all kinds of things to look forward to. So next week, I got something I want to share with you guys. I've got a buddy of mine I went to high school with. He's a singer-songwriter. He's got some cool stuff out right now. His name's Blue Sanders. I did his interview, and we've got that coming up next week. So next Thursday, live at Chance's house. Be looking forward to that. A lot of great stories, a lot of great insight, and actually really cool insight from a working singer-songwriter, someone who's out in the scene, lives out in Nashville. Very cool. And it was a great opportunity for me to catch up with him. He's got a couple of new releases out, 2 albums that are out right now, and I want you guys to go check those out. I'll give you more information next week. But if you want to go now, they're out now. His name is Blue Sanders, B-L-U Sanders. Check him out at bluesanders.com. He's going to be the interview for next week, but he's got 2 releases. You can go listen to him on Spotify. You can go to Apple iTunes. You can download them. You can stream them. You can do whatever you want. But they're great. 2 albums, 25 songs apiece at a great value, 50 songs.
He did it as part of a 50 and 50 he did on Instagram, 50 songs in 50 days, and it's all acoustic and is absolutely fantastic. There's only about 5 of them that are, I think, cover songs, and the other 45 are from his collection, things that he's written and things that he's written with other people. So it's a great chance to go check it out. Go check out Blue Sanders on Spotify and Apple Music, and he'll be on the show next week, Thursday at 7. All right, let's do another RDO song. Here we go. The song's called Real. It was written by our friends Chip Martin and Will Rambo. As a matter of fact, Chip Martin, we heard his name earlier in the interview because he co-wrote No Breaks as well. So check it out. Here we go. Well, I don't come from money, and I don't think it's funny when I look around the lies that we've been sold. I see the people grabbing for things that ain't worth having, and they only end up in a deeper hole. Give me something that will satisfy my soul. Give me real like a $100, real like the blue in my collar, real as the calloused hand and an honest smile, real like the love of a mother, real like the bond of a brother, real as the cry of a newborn child. Well, I'm tired of being on the wrong end of the deal. Give me real. Yeah, I hear all the bitching from all the politicians, but that talking smack don't put gas in my tank. Well, give me something I can take to the bank. Give me real like a $100, real like the blue in my collar, real as a calloused hand and an honest smile, real like the love of a mother, real like the bond of a brother, real as the cry of a newborn child. I'm tired of being on the wrong end of the deal. Give me real. Real like a $100, real like the blue in my collar, real as a calloused hand and an honest smile, real like the love of a mother, real like the bond of a brother, real as the cry of a newborn child. Well, I'm tired of being on the wrong end of the deal, sick and tired of being on the wrong end of the deal. Give me real. Come on. She comes from the top of the hill, a Coach handbag and Prada high heels, and she's looking like a beauty queen, every clean-cut American college boy's dream. Well, let me be the letter of a little bad news. She likes some long-haired boys with lots of tattoos, ride a big old bike, get a little busy on a Friday night. She likes to let loose, wearing jeans too tight, sip a bit of whiskey and a good bar fight. If Daddy knew it would break his heart, she likes those long-haired boys with lots of tattoos. Girls' night out, they hit the stomping ground, a swanky little dance club uptown. Well, it doesn't take long when she's had a drink to start thinking about a ponytail and some ink.
She's got them all fooled, they ain't got a clue. She likes those long-haired boys with lots of tattoos, ride a big old bike, get a little crazy on a Friday night. She likes to let loose, wear her jeans too tight, sip a bit of whiskey and a good fight. Her daddy knew it would break his heart. She likes those long-haired boys with lots of tattoos. If you want a shot, man, this is what you gotta do. You grow your hair real long and get a tattoo. Ride a big old bike, get a little crazy on a Friday night. She likes to let loose, wear her jeans too tight, sip a bit of whiskey and a good bar fight. Her daddy knew it would break his heart. She likes those long-haired boys, those long-haired boys. She likes those long-haired boys, lots of tattoos. Well, yeah, man, with lots of tattoos. I got 16 days, one for every time I've gone away, one for every time I should have stayed, should have worn my wedding ring. I got 16 days, 15 of those are nights, well, can't sleep when the bed sheets fight. It's way back to your side, where the ghost has got me running. The ghost has got me running away from you, away from you, away. Where the ghost has got me running, the ghost has got me running away from you, away from you, away. I got 16 days, got a bottle and a rosary. Gotta wish that you were close to me. Guess I owe you an apology. I got 16 days, 15 of those are nights. Well, can't sleep when the bed sheets fight. It's way back to your side, where the ghost has got me running. The ghost has got me running away from you, away from you, away. Where the ghost has got me running, the ghost has got me running away from you, away from you, away. Oh, tin cup and little paper dolls, all wrapped up in ribbon bows and hearts. Oh, tin cup and little paper dolls, all wrapped up in the ribbons of your heart. I had 16 days, 16 days, 16 days. Like a fool I'll hang. Well, I seem to recognize your face, haunting, familiar, yet I can't seem to place it. Cannot find a candle of thought to light your name. Lifetimes were catching up with me. All these changes taking place, but I wish I'd seen the place no one's ever taken me. Hearts and thoughts, they fade away. Hearts and thoughts, they fade away. Well, I seem to recognize your breath. Memories like fingerprints are slowly raising me. You wouldn't recall, for I'm not my former. It's hard when you're stuck upon the shelf. Well, I changed by not changing at all. Small town predicts my fate. Perhaps that's what no one wants to see. And I just want to scream hello. My God, it's been so long. Never dreamed you'd return. But now here you are. And here I am. Hearts and thoughts, they fade away. Hearts and thoughts, they fade away. Hearts and thoughts, they fade away. Hearts and thoughts, they fade. Ooh, yeah. Hearts and thoughts, they fade away. Hearts and thoughts, they fade away. Hearts and thoughts, they fade. Song by Edwin McCain. It's called I'll Be. Here we go. The strands in your eyes, the color them wonderful, stop me, steal my breath. And emeralds from mountains thrust towards the sky, never revealing their depth. And tell me that we belong together, dress it up with the trappings of love. I'll be captivated, I'll hang from your lips instead of the gallows of heartache that hang from above. And I'll be your crying shoulder, I'll be love's suicide. And I'll be better when I'm older, I'll be the greatest fan of your life. The rain falls angry on the tin roof as we lie awake in our bed. And you're my survival, you're my living proof. My love is alive and not dead. And tell me we belong together, dress it up with the trappings of love. I'll be captivated, I'll hang from your lips instead of the gallows of heartache that hang from above. And I'll be your crying shoulder, I'll be the love suicide. And I'll be better when I'm older, I'll be the greatest fan of on my way back from dead. I tuned in, I turned on, remembering the things that you said. I'll be your crying shoulder. I'll be love suicide. And I'll be there when I'm older. I'll be the greatest fan of your life. The greatest fan of your life. And I feel the time's a ways to go. So where you going till tomorrow? And I see that these are lies to come. Would you even care? And I feel it, and I feel it. Where you going for tomorrow? Where you going with the mask I found? I said, and I feel when the dogs begin to smell her. Well, she stands alone. Yeah. And I feel so much depends on the weather. So is it raining in your bedroom? And I see that these are the eyes of disarray. Or would you even care? And I feel it, and she feels it. Where you going for tomorrow? Where you going with the mask I found? I said, and she feel and I feel when the dogs begin to smell her. Where she smelled the door, where the dogs find her. Got time to wait for tomorrow. Find it, find it, find it. Where the dogs find her. Got time to wait for tomorrow. Find it, find it, find it. Where you going for tomorrow? Where you going with the mask I found? I said, I feel when the dogs begin to smell her. Where'd you smell the low? Where the dogs find her? Got time to find hell, to find hell, to find hell. Nights fall and I'm alone. Skin, yeah, chilled to the bone. You turned and you ran. Oh yeah, oh slips right from my hand. Hey, blue on black, tears on the river, push on the shove, it don't mean much. Joker on jack, match on a fire, cold on ice, a dead man's touch. A whisper on the screen doesn't change a thing, won't bring you back. How blue on black, oh yeah, blue on black. Blind, now I see. Truth, yeah, lies in between. Wrong, can't be undone. Oh yeah, oh it slips from the tip of your tongue. Hey, blue on black, tears on the river, push on the shove, it don't mean much. Joker on jack, match on the fire, cold on ice, a dead man's touch. A whisper on the screen doesn't change a thing, won't bring you back. How blue on black. Hey, blue on black, tears on the river, push on the shove, it don't mean much. Joker on jacket, match on the fire, cold on ice, a dead man's touch. A whisper on the screen doesn't change a thing, won't bring you back. Blue on black, oh yeah, blue on black. Oh yeah, blue on black, blue on black. Your trouble, and I'm Every guy here wants you, every woman wants you to leave. Yeah, I like that. And your tattoos, and the feel of your lips on my ear when you whisper, buy me the whiskey. Come on, well it's on. Put your hands like a candy apple red Corvette, burning up the corner mile. You got me all revved up, red line girl, that little black dress is driving me wild. I wanna take you for a spin with the top down window and holler, let's get out of this place. Oh, look at you, girl, with all them curves, and me with no brakes. Have mercy, I wanna make this last. But every little thing about you makes me wanna slam my foot on the gas. Oh, whoa. Baby, let's go. I bet you handle like a candy up the red Corvette, burning up the corner mile. You got me all red up, red line girl, that little black dress is driving me wild. I wanna take you for a spin with the top down window, let's get out of this place. Oh, look at you, girl, with all them curves, and me with no. Yes, so come on. I bet you handle like a candy apple red Corvette, burning up the corner mile. You got me all red up, red line girl, that little black dress is driving me wild. I wanna take you for a spin with the top down window and honey, let's get out of this place. Oh, look at you, girl, with all them curves, all them curves, and we would know. I'm gonna walk and rise above the sun. I'm gonna walk from the place where I come from. I'm gonna walk and leave you behind. I'm gonna walk 'cause you made me love you. Can't believe I go so far away, but it lets me ease my mind. At the mountain I let myself go. The mountain listens, the mountain knows. You're gonna walk 'cause you say you love me. You're gonna walk and leave me alone. I let you roam, you soon realize I've got another place to go. Can't believe I go so far away, but it lets me ease my mind. At the mountain I let myself go. I speak to her like she's my bride. She doesn't play any games. She doesn't laugh at me. She just listens and she knows. I can't believe I go so far away. But it lets me ease my mind. At the mountain I let myself go. The mountain listens, the mountain knows. I can't believe I go so far away. But it lets me ease my mind.